What's going on YouTube? West Hobbies RC. So today we are back with the Blade Fusion 360 Smart radio setup. So we are going to get started on the radio setup. Now I am going to set my model up according to the booklet here that we have in front of us. So we're going to go these exact settings on the model, but something that I wanted to touch on, my dad actually bought a Blade 330S and he was all excited about the pre-done files, and I knew about it but I don't ever do it, so I figured I would touch on it, and he was saying to touch on it. So now if you have an IX series or NX series radio, when you add a new model, so now I'm going to add a new model, okay? So when you add a new model, you can do default template or bind and fly. So if you click bind and fly, it's going to come up with a list of models. Okay, so you scroll down until you find the Fusion 360. So technically speaking, I can click on the Fusion 360 and it is going to import the model. Okay, so down here is the Fusion 360 and it is already set up. So if I hit set and activate the model, it will activate the model for me. And then the radio setup procedure part is complete. You can bind your model and go fly. So now if we back out of here and we go to our main screen, we will have a completed Fusion 360. Hold mode, all the switches are there.
Flight mode 2. Hold.
It is that simple. Literally that simple. You go into your throttle curve, everything is here. It's gonna have a predetermined
Flight mode 1.
Stunt button,
Flight
stunt
mode
2,
2, normal
mode. And if we look at this, sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Everything is
Flight mode
predetermined.
1. Flight mode 2. Normal.
Okay, you go to servo setup. Everything is done. Your pitch curve, it's done. It is that simple.
Flight mode 1. Flight mode 2. Normal.
Okay, you're done. It's literally 2 seconds. You could go and fly if you're using a Spectrum NX or IX radio. Everything is set up for you. So now we are going to set it up according to the booklet. So let's get started on that. Now we're back to regular. I have deleted the pre-done files. So now we're going to go and add a new model. We're going to do a default model. We are going to do a helicopter. We are going to hit create, and then this is where you will name it, and then we will move on. Okay, as you can see, we named it Fusion 360 Smart. We use the Fusion 360 as the model image. Now we can start with our first steps of programming the radio. So our first step is going to be go into model adjust, and we already know, but let's go to flight mode, which I'm sorry is under model setup. Let's go to flight mode, and we will, where's flight? Oh, flight mode. Flight mode. Let's just make sure that we have switch B, and then our hold switch is going to be switch H.
Normal.
And then again, like I've said many times, make sure that the highlighted selection is the way you want the
Hold.
switch.
Normal.
So now we can exit out of that, and we can go into channel assign here. So let's click on channel assign. And on channel assign, 5, which is gear, needs to be flight mode. So look for flight mode, which will be switch B. Since there's flight mode, I'm sorry, select flight mode. So now channel 5 gear is flight mode. And then now we can move to frame rate, which makes sure it's 11 milliseconds. So we're going to go to 11 milliseconds. And then your servo travel and all of that stuff is going to be 100, 100. Servo setup, you don't need to adjust any of that. 100 all the way across. Everything is normal, no need to reverse anything. So now you can move to dual rates in Expo. They call for no Expo, and they call for a 3-position rate switch.
Hold.
Of 100, 100 for normal mode or for 0, and then 85 for your other 2. Now, if you want to do that, you would go ahead, set your switch here, set your rates. I don't fly dual rates or Expo, so I'm going to leave it at 100%. And then now the next thing is gyro. So now, unlike other blade models, this one's a little different. Gyro, we usually do nothing, as you've seen on the Fusion 180 and the Infusion 180. We did not do anything for gyro, but on this one we need to. So gyro, we're gonna have to put it onto channel auxiliary 2. So let's find auxiliary 2 here, and switch is going to be flight mode. So find flight mode, click flight mode. Okay, so now switch is flight mode. So hold is going to be 75%. It's going to actually be 75% all the way across the board. So go through and do 75% on hold, normal, stunt 1, and stunt 2. And now that we got 75% all the way across the board for hold, normal, and stunt 1 and 2, channel is going to be auxiliary 2. So let's click this and click auxiliary 2 as channel, and that is it. So we got flight mode for the switch, 75 all the way down, and auxiliary 2 for flight mode, or for switch. So, or channel, sorry. Now mixing, let's go to mixing. So now we're gonna go to mixing, and we're gonna create a P1 mix. It's gonna be a normal mix. And then we will do I for the first one, so let's go to -I-. And then the second one is going to be gear. So select gear, and it is going to be a 0, 125. So we need to go all the way up to 125, hit OK. So 0, 125, the offset is going to be 100. Hit OK. And the switch is going to be I. So you can just go ahead and push it. But now we need to select. So now, when this is on, this will be your safe / rescue. So now that is done, we can back out. Our switch is completed. Our mixing is completed. So now we're going to go to Throttle Curve. So let's go to Throttle Curve here. So now in normal mode, they're calling for a 65% flat curve.
Normal.
So we're just going to go up to here, and we're going to run this to 65. Oh, too far. And then you're going to do a 65 flat across the board on all the rest of them. So 65, 65, 65. So it'll all be flat curves. Yep, flat curves all the way across, 80 and then 100, flat curve of 65. So now that we are done with this, we got a flat curve, we can go to stunt
2,
1.
stunt 1.
It is going to be a flat curve of 80. So bring this guy
Timer
up
start.
to 80. It is thundering outside, sorry about that. 80. Move. There we go. 80. Stop moving and move the slider. There we go. 80. Okay, and oh, we missed one. 75, 80, and 80. And once you are done with that, we go into stunt 2, which is idle up 2, and that will be a 100% flat curve all the way across the
Timer
board.
stop.
So
Timer
100,
start.
100, 100. Just as simple as that. Already done at 100. So now our throttle curves are 100 and idle up 2,
Stunt 1.
80 and idle up 1,
Timer stop.
normal, and 65 on normal. So now our flight modes are done for throttle curve. Let's go to pitch curve. So now pitch curve and normal mode is going to be at 25, 37, 50, 75, and 100. So 25 are just taking some of the negative pitch out in normal mode. There's no need to try to push the helicopter into the ground. And then a 37. So it's just a normal pitch curve, that, especially a normal one that I run in all my helicopters for normal mode. And then, of course, 50, 75, 100.
Timer start.
idle up 1, and idle
Stud
up
2.
2. You don't have to do nothing.
Normal.
And then now the last thing is going to be your timer. So now we need to go to model setup. We need to go to timers. And we need to go down to where we have a countdown timer, which we have a countdown 5 minutes. And we want it to be throttle out, trigger over 5%. So let's drop that down to 5%. Okay.
Timer start. Timer stop. Stud 1.
Timer alerts. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because I don't personally like it, but you guys don't have to do that. So I'm just going to go into here and just hit none. And none. Of course, we're going to have full telemetry. We're going to have all that stuff. So now let's bind the model. Alright, so now for binding procedure. Now I would highly recommend you take your blades off or disconnect your motor. I'm not going to do either one, but I do highly recommend you take your blades off or disconnect your motor just in case something is not set up right and or goes wrong. So now for binding, you don't need a bind plug on this helicopter. So if you look down inside of here, you have your little satellite SRXL2. You're going to push this button when you plug in the battery. So you're going to connect your flight battery. Okay, and then after you connect the flight battery, push and hold the button until the light flashes. Then we're going to grab our radio. We're going to put our radio into bind mode. Okay, put it in, push and hold.
Binding. Bind complete DSMX 11 milliseconds. Telemetry.
We're
Hold.
going to flip hold mode so we know that we're safe on the helicopter, and we are going to look. Let's check left, right, forward, backwards. Let's check tail. Left, right, left, right. Okay, so we know everything is working. Everything is going in the correct direction. Positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, everything is working like it should. Servos are fast, smooth, and crisp. So now let's go ahead and scroll that one through our telemetry, and let's see what telemetry we have. So we're going to have full ESC telemetry. So we're going to have amperage, we're going to have voltage of the BEC, temperature, BEC temperature, RPM, and battery voltage, which is very nice. And then our smart ESC is going to be for actual programming and tuning of the ESC. So we have plenty of telemetry data. We're going to have battery voltage, percentage, all that good stuff. You're going to have your frame rates, logs, holds, anything and everything you need to see on this. You're going to have, of course, your positive and negative, plus and minus battery voltage. So everything is working like it should. We have forward, backwards, left, right, positive, negative. It is that simple. So there's two different ways that you can do this. You can just as easily go into the pre-done model files of your NX or IX series radio and have it literally set up and ready to fly in under 2 minutes. Or you can set it up according to your book and your manual, and you can have it ready to fly in under 10 minutes. Blade helicopters are incredible, fastest on the market for bind and fly. Literally, there is not another company out there that if you're running a Spectrum radio and a Blade helicopter, which is a Spectrum helicopter, that you can download the pre-done file in your radio and take it out of the box, and it takes longer to charge the battery than to do anything else. Fantastic ideas. It's great, especially for the new person that just getting in the hobby. It's awesome. Really, really like it. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, Blade Horizon Hobbies, thank you guys so much for sending me this model for review. Stay tuned. Flight video next. Give this video a like, subscribe, take care, and have a great day.